Hey guys, CS here with JS from Allianz, working on the pronunciation. And the reason why I have him here today is because we want to talk more about some of the changes that's happened recently, starting July 1st, 2019, and more importantly, to update you guys on something that's really exciting in regards to one of their products called MediSafe Infinite Plus.
Yep.
So, JS, why don't you give us more about, a brief introduction about who you are, how you got into this business,
Okay.
and then we can dig into this product itself.
Right. So as you guys have heard from CS, you use yourself before.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually Jensen. A life agent with Allianz for 4 years right now. How did I get into the business is that it's purely interest. Because previously I was actually an auditor with one of the big 4 companies, and I mean the life got a little bit boring. So yeah, I make a change and join the life insurance industry.
Awesome. And so let's dig right into this. So MediSafe Infinite Plus. So this is the top medical card from Allianz.
The only medical card.
The only medical card.
Right now.
Which changes it quite a bit. So tell us more about it. Like what? Because this is, it's already been known as one of the best medical cards out there in Malaysia. So let's talk more about what makes it so special.
Okay, so MediSafe Infinite Plus is actually what we call a very comprehensive medical card. It gives you relatively high annual coverage for your medical needs.
How high does it go up to?
All the way to 2.5 million.
Okay, 2.5
million. Right, so that's the top of the top. Generally, we see people taking annual coverage about 1.6, around 1.6. That is the average annual coverage that people go for. Right now, actually, for Allianz MediSafe Infinite Plus, we have actually put in something quite interesting. We have something called no claim refund. So no claim refund is basically, in the past, a lot of my clients, they come to me and say that, hey, if I do not make any claims on my medical card, I'm actually losing out, right? So a lot of times people do go and make a claim just to make a claim, but right now we actually have a benefit whereby if you do not make a claim, Allianz provides you a certain refund on your cost of insurance for a medical card.
Okay.
So that's basically money back to your pockets.
All right, so we'll have to dig into that deeper later. So before we recorded, you were also talking about this new fact that with the government has a new initiative that requires all these policies to be able to last a certain amount of time.
Yes.
Can you talk more about that from the beginning?
So the new initiative is basically with investment link. There's always an issue with the product not being able to sustain up to the so-called maturity period, right? Because in the past, you always hear agents or even maybe your friends or families telling you that their medical card can cover them up to 100 years old, right? So that's the coverage, but whether or not your investment link plan can actually sustain until then is a whole different question. Mm-hmm. So the government has actually come in and said that, hey, all insurance companies right now, whatever products that you are selling after 1st of July, you need to make sure that the premium quoted you're able to sustain up to that period that you have promised the clients.
Yeah.
So that is the main changes there. So different companies has actually approached this requirement differently. So certain companies will have already said that, okay, for all products that we have launched, we need to be able to sustain at least until the individual is 80 years old.
Yeah.
Right. So if, for example, you are 30 years old right now, so your coverage term has to be minimum up to 50 years old because that's what the product has promised you. But for Allianz, we actually have the flexibility to adjust the term or the coverage term according to your needs. So perhaps if you are 30 years old again, but you tell me today that, Jensen, I just want to have a so-called coverage up to 60 years old, then we can give you a term of until 60 years old, which is 30 years instead of all the way 50 years.
Yeah.
So different companies have different approach to this.
Perfect. So we'll definitely dig more into that and go through a few examples. Yeah. But why don't we start right from the beginning? So, the most popular, we'll just go with the 1.6 example, 1.6 million coverage. Right. So of that, why don't we just start talking about a few things? So in the blog post, I talk about the 7 main things that people should look for when they're choosing the medical card. Okay. One of it was maximum coverage. Another one here was the room and board. So has anything changed with the room and board?
The room and board for Allianz, at least from our changes, is whereby the room and board is still 250, the normal 250, 200, or whatever amount you go to. We go up all the way to 500. But in the past, Allianz, if you, let's say for example, right now your plan is 250, right? But for some reason, when you go to the hospital, you say that, I want to upgrade it all the way to 300. In the past, Allianz actually has a co-insurance built into it. That means, yes, you can upgrade, but you need to pay certain money to make sure that not only that the room and board you have to pay the difference, but also the medical bill. But right now we have actually removed the co-insurance, so if you do upgrade your medical room and board with the hospital, you just need to pay the difference in your room and board.
Oh, okay.
There's no additional charges.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah. And how about the total amount of days that they're allowed?
It's still the same, it's 150, but
Okay.
it's per disability.
Okay.
So one thing that we have to be very aware of is a lot of the other insurance companies, their coverage is actually per policy year. So it's a very different scenario whereby it is per disability. Because if, let's say, per year I go into the hospital for 2 different disabilities, that means I actually, if per disability I have 150, that means I will have 300 days total.
Yeah.
As compared to a per policy.
Okay, but this is per disability
Per lifetime.
per lifetime.
Yeah.
Okay. And ICU room and
ICU,
board?
it's also 150 days, but
Yeah.
the charges are, there's no room, so-called room rate for ICU.
Yeah.
It's based on a charge.
Okay. So it's 150 days and covered everything. Everything's
Yes.
covered, right?
As per the contract.
Yeah.
As per the contract.
Okay. And pre-hospitalization, consultation, all that.
Still the same.
No changes?
No changes on that.
Okay. And then home nursing.
Right. So home nursing, still the same. Not
Okay.
much change. It's the same thing.
And so the last one there was daily guardian benefits.
Daily guardian benefit, I think what you mean is the lodger benefit.
Yeah, so if you have someone who needs to like help.
Right. So for lodger benefit, it's actually something new for Allianz also, whereby let's say I am hospitalized in the hospital. I need somebody to accompany me.
Yeah.
Right. I am able to so-called claim a monetary benefit for each day they accompany me. So I believe it starts at 75 ringgit and goes all the way up to 250. Just double check on that.
Okay, yeah, because I think when I first wrote this, the first draft, I don't think you guys offered anything at that point. So
Yeah. So with the changes that came on the 1st of July, actually, we did Allianz products actually changed quite a little bit.
Yeah.
For the better lah. So that's great news for everybody in Malaysia. Yeah. Yep. So lodger benefits go all the way up to 250 a day. So you can claim 150 days per any one disability.
Okay. Perfect. So I guess that kind of covers the basics of the product. So let's get into the juicy stuff, right?
Okay.
So we talked about this whole no claim refund. We talked about the fact that you have more flexibility or in terms of like how long of a coverage you want instead of being force fed something that
Correct.
you might not really feel is necessary. And then there was also something like I think we haven't mentioned it online, but while we were talking, you were talking about a deductible, right? So why don't we start from why don't we create a example test plan, and then we'll walk through some of these new features and how it makes it different.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right.
So first, let's just use the example of. Well, use me as an example.
Okay.
I'm a 29-year-old male.
Right.
Right. I want $1.6 million in coverage.
Okay.
What else would you need from me to create?
Right. So, CS mentioned something called a deductible. So basically, a deductible works whereby the first amount, which is whatever deductible you have, is actually borne by you.
Yeah.
Right. So if you do have your company insurance, basically it's borne by your company insurance. Subsequent amount after that is only borne by Allianz. So that indirectly actually reduces our so-called cost of insurance, and which also reduces your premium contribution per month.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So let's use that as an example
Okay.
then. Can we create a policy for me, right? A sample policy for me,
Okay.
or someone else is 20, let's say 29 years old,
Okay.
or 30 years old. Yeah, so
30 years old.
Yeah, because it's my next
Standard,
birthday.
usually people always say 30 years old.
Perfect. I fit in that standard now.
Average.
Yeah.
Okay, so I assume that you are a manager in the office. Okay,
Yeah.
You do not smoke.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, that's the next thing we're gonna go for is alright.
Yeah. So, what's the best way of doing this? So let's say I want $1.6 million in coverage. We'll assume that I have no deductible right now.
Okay.
Right. So everything is that.
Yep. Alright. So
What else?
just now we mentioned the term, right?
Yeah.
So how long would you like to be covered? Right. Generally, we always say we would like to cover an individual until they are 80 years old, because that's the average life expectancy in Malaysia.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Let's
So
do
let's
that
say 80
first.
years old, right? So right now you are 30. Okay.
So now
let's
50
assume,
years.
Yeah. So 50 years. So my premium. Let's just have a look. This is a little bit of an art, because it's a trial and error thing, right? So it can be as low as. This takes a little bit more time. Yeah. So your premium is gonna hover somewhere about 280 per month.
Yeah.
Without
Okay.
any deductibles. Okay.
And this will last me until I'm 80.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed to last me until I'm 80, right? Because
It's
that's
based
when
on the so-called projected return.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee.
Oh, so weren't we talking about earlier about this whole thing about
The term.
the term piece?
Yep. So it's based on the requirement is whereby you have to project based on your scenario or returns or potential returns. It should at least cover until the term that is agreed upon.
Okay.
So of course, if same thing, because this is an investment link.
Yeah.
So if it drops below, the required cash value, you do need to do a top up.
Okay. Okay, so I guess I'm getting a little confused here. We'll save that question for later because I want to make sure we continue this. Okay, so without a deductible, it would be about 280 for me to
Yeah.
last until I'm, for 50 years until I'm 80 years old, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I have a deductible now.
Okay.
What's the maximum we can go up to?
The maximum deductibles we can go up all the way to 30,000.
Okay.
So there's three options: 5, 10, and 30.
Okay, so funny enough, my company covers up to 30, so
Okay.
let's try that.
All right. So most corporate Malaysians, they actually have a coverage of at least 30.
Yep.
Let's have a look. Okay. So for a deductible of all the way up to 30, I would suspect the premium.
So for you guys who can't see right now, he's actually kind of doing this guess and check type of thing.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, we are not able to so-called give you an actual amount right top of our heads.
Yeah.
Because we have a system whereby they will do the calculations behind the scenes. Right? So yeah. So if you were to have a room and board 250, which is more or less a single room
Yeah.
in Malaysia, with a deductible of 30,000 ringgit a year,
Yeah.
you'll be looking at $150 premium per month.
150,000 or 150 rather.
Yeah.
And
That's always all the way to 70 years old. So let me
70 years
just-
or 70 years.
70 years.
Okay, so
So let me just reduce that a little bit more. Okay.
okay, so just for you guys to know, right now I'm looking at
125.
125 a month. So we dropped the premium by over half.
Yeah.
My coverage went from 50 years until I'm 80 to 65 years in this scenario until I'm 95, right? So, which means, holy crap, I reduced my premium significantly. I have the longer term coverage. So, which is, flat out amazing.
Yeah.
What else can we use? So let's just say, because I think you were saying earlier that the minimum premium is 125. Is that
Yes.
correct? So we can't go any lower because you're not allowed to do it anyway. What can we do to increase? So that means I can technically increase my other benefits,
Yes.
right?
So you can actually opt to increase your life coverage,
Yeah.
right? Because right now what we have done is that we push the life coverage all the way down to 5,000.
Mhm.
Right? So on top of that, you can actually increase your critical illness protection. Perhaps.
Okay.
Then if you were to do that, let's just have a try. Okay. Right now, because I know that for 135 ringgit a month, my term will be all the way up to 65 years old just now.
Yeah.
So right now, if I were to, I want to make sure that my term is also still 50 years old, I can add in a critical illness coverage of, let's have a look, 2,000. So actually, that's why we can really add up to about 50. So for CI, not that much, about 25,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's still
Give or take.
still better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just for you guys to get updated, we were just looking into, how much critical illness I can now get covered, with this at 125 a month, and still be covered until I'm 80. And in this case, we're looking at about 25,000, which is, it's not the most, but it's still better than nothing,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, because right now what we're trying to see is that for the least amount of premium, what kind of coverage can we give or
Yeah.
you can get, right? So, I mean, for somebody that's 30 years old, it's a bit unheard of to be paying a premium of 125 ringgit plus the single room and board and also the critical illness of 21,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what Allianz has done is actually it gives the client the flexibility to get covered,
Yeah.
but at the same time at a more affordable premium.
Okay. All right, so we covered two of the three topics. Last one. So we briefly mentioned at the beginning, no claim refund. So in this scenario, how does this work?
Okay, no claim refunds for the first year if you do not make any claims.
Yeah.
Right. You get back 10% of the cost of insurance for you. Right?
Yeah.
So let's just have a look at the cost of insurance for the medical card for your case. Right. For your case, it's about 400 a year. So what happens is that on the first year that you do not make a claim, it's you get 40 ringgit back. Right?
Okay.
So that goes into your cash value. Right. Second and third year onwards, you're gonna get 15%. So that's about, I would say about 45, 48,
Yeah.
45, right? So subsequently, fourth year onwards, you do not make any claims. Every year you get 20% of your so-called cost of insurance. So
Okay.
it really depends on the cost of insurance for your medical card.
Yeah.
So every individual is a little bit different.
Okay, so and this no claim refund, I can technically get back in cash, right?
It
Is
goes
that
back
how it
into your
works?
cash value.
Okay.
So what it will do is that it will make sure that your sustainability is still there.
Yeah.
Right. But of course, at the same time, if you do decide to withdraw the money from your cash value, you can do that. It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And is there anything else about the MediSafe Infinite plan that you think other people would want to know
Okay.
about?
So this is a big one. Right?
Yeah.
I think one of the main reasons that we get a medical card is actually our outpatient treatment.
Yeah.
Especially for our cancer outpatient treatment. So we always hear people about chemotherapy, radiotherapy. So in the past, all medical insurance company actually covers chemo and radiotherapy for the outpatient. At least the decent insurance company
Yeah.
cover that, right? So Allianz has actually added 3 more items in there for outpatient. So there's targeted therapy,
Say that again?
targeted therapy,
Targeted therapy.
yeah, hormonal therapy, and immunotherapy.
Targeted hormonal
And immunotherapy.
immuno.
So this is on top of the so-called existing radiotherapy and chemotherapy. Of course, we also have something in addition. It's actually what we call a genomic test for cancer. So this is actually quite important because a lot of times when we say cancer patient so-called pass away is because not so much from the cancer itself, but sometimes it's from the treatment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's too intensive for them. You don't know, right? So genomic test for cancer actually what it does is actually it takes your cancer cells and actually they do a test to see what kind of treatment is suitable for you, for your particular cancer and for your individual, right? So this is also included into our medical card.
Okay, so all of these, so
These are all new things.
all new things included into the medical card. So normally we have what was it?
Chemo and radiotherapy.
Chemo and radiotherapy as the default.
Yeah.
But in this new card, you now have the ability to do target, hormonal, immunal, and then there's also this whole thing about genomic testing to make sure they choose the right way of doing it for you.
Right.
Very cool.
So right now, we are proud to say that we are the only insurance company that offer all this in one medical card.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else that you would like to share about this product?
I think that's about it because, yeah, if you have not heard about this product, go ask around, do some research, more money,
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
There'll be an article written about it.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, JS, for your time today, and thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you found this useful, and if you do have any other questions and you are interested in learning more about this product, like JS was mentioning, if you're already working with someone, go talk to them. If not, this is someone I really do trust that has your best interest at heart, so you can definitely take advantage of that as well. And with that said, we'll see you guys around.